Will the state of Vermont crack down on spreading sewage sludge on Vermont farms? A recent report shows most of this waste is contaminated with PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals that could be entering the food supply.
As Calvin Cutler tells us, the discovery is raising questions about how Vermont deals with the issue.
Well, much of what we as Vermonters consume works its way down the waste stream, ending up at places like Montpelier's wastewater treatment plant, where one of the byproducts that the state is grappling with how to dispose of is PFAS-laden sludge. We have ways to manage the sludge: dumping it in a landfill, incinerating it, or spreading it in ag settings where animals forage as an alternative to fertilizer.
And we need to manage those risks and prevent exposure no matter how they're managed.
Matt Chapman heads Vermont's Environmental Conservation Department, which regulates who can spread the sludge, also known as biosolids. He says fewer farms are permitted to spread now than in years past, but couldn't tell us how many. A recent New York Times investigation found federal regulators have known about the presence of PFAS chemicals in the sludge and its harmful effects for decades, but has not taken action to ban spreading sludge on farm fields. Vermont's approach is to use testing to keep contaminated sludge off the farm.
We're in the mode of making sure that we test the soils, we test the material, that we're managing that risk as best we possibly can. And if the materials themselves pose a risk, we're not allowing them to get land applied.
The PFAS chemicals come from numerous consumer goods: furniture, carpet, clothing, and food packaging, which build up in our bodies and the environment over time.
These technological miracles that are going to save us from ourselves introduce yet more problems.
John Brabant formerly worked for the state and is part of the grassroots environmental organization Vermonters for a Clean Environment. He says the state needs to take a harder approach to PFAS and stop spreading sludge altogether and create a facility to hold it until an alternative solution can be found.
If we care about the health of our children and every living species on this planet, plant or animal, we need to stop, first off, spreading it on the land.
The state of Maine banned sludge spreading in 2022 after finding PFAS contamination on farms. State lawmakers say it's worth exploring.
Certainly, we want to balance that with the economic needs of the agricultural community and of the state, but I think public safety needs to be first.
Lawmakers and the DEC, though, say their focus is on removing PFAS upstream and banning them in consumer goods. Lawmakers banned a slew of PFAS products last year: textiles, ski wax, food packaging, and more. So no immediate solutions as to how to deal with decades of consumerism come back to haunt us as Vermonters. Yet there is a shared understanding of what not to do going forward. Reporting in Montpelier, Calvin Cutler, Channel 3 News.